There should be more support.
It scares the living daylights out of you.
I was selling old trainers on eBay.
It has
almost fell apart from the stress.
I'm very, very angry.
It's destroying people's lives.
It scares the living daylights out of you. In February 2018, Elwaldo Romeo received a letter from the Home Office citing the 1971 Immigration Act and telling him he was liable to be detained. It added that he had not been given leave to enter the United Kingdom and offered support on returning home, despite the fact that my uncle had moved to the UK from Antigua 59 years earlier, aged 4.
There should be more support. Lloyd Grant entered the UK in 1970, aged 11, and later worked for London Transport and Hackney Council. After losing his passport, the Home Office said they couldn't trace any records for him. This meant he was unable to work or claim benefits and had to borrow money from his siblings. He became homeless and feared deportation. He received no compensation.
I'm very, very angry. Having arrived in 1968, age 14, Renford McIntyre had worked as a driver for the NHS until he was sacked in 2014 because he had no documents proving he had the rights to live in the UK. He discovered he wasn't eligible for benefits. He was made homeless, forced to sleep in an industrial unit in Dudley. The man had worked and paid taxes in the UK for 35 years. Come on!
I was selling old trainers on eBay to survive. Glenda Caesar was sacked from her job as an administrator in a GP practice in 2009 because the Home Office refused to believe she was living in the UK legally, despite the fact that she'd been here since 1961, when she arrived aged 6 months. Glenda was denied unemployment benefits, and her daughter, who was deaf, shared her disability benefits with her mother to help her buy food.
It's grossly unfair. Sylvester Marshall arrived from Jamaica as a teenager in 1973 to join his mother, an NHS nurse. After 44 years of working as a mechanic, he was refused free radiotherapy cancer treatment when he could not show proof that he was in the UK legally. And he was asked to pay £54,000. He was made homeless by the council. After The Guardian highlighted his case, he received the treatment that he needed, and he has recovered.
I almost fell apart from the stress. Michael Braithwaite arrived with his family from Barbados in 1961. He lost his job as a special needs teaching assistant after the primary school where he had worked for more than 15 years deemed him an illegal alien, despite the fact that he had lived here for more than 50 years. It made me feel like an alien.
It has been hell. Boxer Vernon Van Rio was trapped in destitution in Jamaica for 13 years after being refused a visa to travel back to the UK, where he had lived for 43 years since moving there aged 6. He survived on the streets, finally ending up in a roadside shack with no electricity. Following Guardian publicity, a first-class British Airways ticket to London was couriered to him by the British High Commission.
It's destroying people's lives. Whitfield Francis came from Jamaica in 1959 with his 2 sisters when he was about 7 years old to join their parents. He worked for the Ministry of Defence repairing Royal Navy ships, but after being made redundant in 2014, he found no one would employ him because he had no proof of his right to live and work in the UK. His sisters faced similar problems.
I've paid taxes here all my life. Judy Griffith joined her parents in the UK in 1963. After 52 years, a job centre employee told her she was an illegal immigrant. And because her passport with evidence of leave to remain had been stolen, she was unable to work or travel. Judy could not visit her sick mother in Barbados in 2016 or attend her funeral. Without work, she got into significant arrears on her flat in London and narrowly escaped eviction. She's still waiting for compensation.
It was blatant discrimination. The former Middlesex bowler was 10 when he moved from Jamaica to London in 1955 to live with his older sister, who was working as a nurse. He was told he was an overstayer in 2012 and spent 7 years in immigration limbo, unable to afford the £1,400 fee for naturalisation. Richard Wes Stewart had hoped to visit his mother's grave in Jamaica, but died in June 2019.